I'm going to run through the 3-year-olds with you. My phone overheated and cut off Patrick the Piranha in my age tours video, but I'm sure many of you have figured out by now he's in the sale on Monday. We may very well retain Patrick, but we'll see what happens in the sale on Monday. Now, 3-year-olds. Admiral Dio. Where's he at? Comes before us. And Admiral Dio is well on track. I have not heard Harry say he schooled him yet or he's trained him fast, but I know he said he was on track to be ready 1st of September, so that's good. Arson is certainly ready. He is very, very good. 50-2 last quarter, 25-3 the other day. Closing in, kind of locked in third. He looked very good. Casanova Hall, bit of a bugger, eh? I can assure you everything that he does wrong is from anxiety. I know that sounds weird. I mean, you're not a psychiatrist. I get it. But when you have a horse that trots perfectly every aspect of the mile, but at the gate, and then gets all anxious at the gate, it's anxiety. And most of those horses, I try to time them in, and they're fine. This guy's the opposite. He was better when we pulled his hobbles up and put his nose on the gate. So we'll try and do that. I think ultimately our goal will be to get the horse super comfortable, and that's going to take some work and some time. We'll chisel away at him. I think there's a good horse in there. It's going to take a little time to get him. But I think the risk is worth the potential reward when it comes to our boy Casanova Hall. Chime Bell trained good the other day. She's in Wednesday. I trained her Friday morning, 2.5, last half 58, last quarter 29 seconds. Seems fine to me. We'll see how she races Wednesday night. Dominion, this will be his last start with us. He races tonight, Saturday night at Georgian Downs, I believe. He's in the sale on Monday and will remain in the sale. No reserve on Dominion. Don't talk about Bruno. I feel he's getting better, don't you? Maybe I'm a little optimistic, but that was a good mile the other day at Mohawk, closing in 57, 58. It'd be 28 or 29 in the end of it. I thought he looked rather well. Don't talk about Bruno. I just talked about Bruno. Drebin was very good. 54-1 last 3 quarters, 124-4 I think the other day. That was a hell of a mile from that horse, and I think he's going to be a very nice horse for us. I've been saying this a while, but it is starting to come to fruition now, right? You have to see that. 54-2, 54-2, 54-1 his last 3. Second, first, and looked exceptionally good the other day. Flash Fly, she's going to qualify. I haven't sat behind her. I'll be completely honest with everybody. Jason have been going with her. She is a little tricky, so I'm surprised that there's been any optimism from either Jason's in regards to Flash Fly, because she is a little tricky. They said she trained all right in 2.5 the other day. We'll get her going again. The fall was always the plan with her. I'd like to get her going good, max out what she's able to do. And then again, this is Fashion Woodchopper's sister, probably worth good money as a broodmare. Both her and Insider Trading, and those horses will be up for sale later in the fall. George of the Jungle, it looked a little flat the other day. James said he was a little flat, so he's got to work his way back into shape. We'll see how he does that. If he's in a funk, we can fix that. We can do the same thing we did last year with the other Ontario bred Muscle Mass that actually had a similar gait to George. It was a much better horse than George, but a similar gait. Snuck him over to Pennsylvania for a couple of starts, and he came right to life. That's a possibility for George. We'll see how he races on Monday. Great Bet is in the sale on Monday. Probably going to sell, I would imagine. Maybe a little bit kind of saturated that class. He got a little salty the last 2 weeks. It's usually a little softer. He was like 9-5 the day he got beat up the first time, and then last week he had the outside. There's not much he can do. But I think Great Bet, if we were forced into a spot to keep him, we can make an argument to keep him easily. But there doesn't seem to be a necessity for that. I think we'll just probably let him go on Monday. I'm sure he'll bring decent money. It's a horse that's done very, very good since going to Northfield, and I suspect he'll fit in great in a class like in a place like Saratoga, Dover, Philadelphia, something like that. He's sound. He doesn't really. I don't think he wears a boot, does he? I think he just wears a head pole on the left, if I'm not mistaken. Where do we got? Gypsy Hill. Not his best effort last night, but he's had a tremendous year. One of the leaders in the Buckeye Series, and has been a good horse for us for quite a while. I actually had a client last night say, Anthony, you're not worried somebody will claim him? He's guaranteed a spot in the Buckeye final. No, I don't think so. $75,000 seems more than reasonable. Maybe even a seller's price for him. He's a nice horse, but he's not as good as Irresistible Sun. Similar, not quite as good. Hallie in the Clouds, she really put a bad taste in my mouth the last time I raced her, and we're going to bring her back. As soon as Jacob says, she's eating good, feeling good, looking sharp, then she comes back, and then she's going to really go to work. We'll see how she does in the fall. I'm Fancy Like is in the sale Monday. Again, one of those horses. She's got the Buckeyes and the Fairs and a couple of the series is left. She's got stuff to race in, but again, she's found her saturation point in Northfield. There's not really any classes for her. She can race her in the Fair, you can race her at Scioto, but as far as Northfield goes, that's it for her. Insider trading. Remember we talked about that bump on her rump? Joked about it the other day. Well, turns out that was must have been when she was in the field. She must have had a sliver or something in there. It was an abscess, and they had to lance it, and it looked so nasty. Here we are talking about how this mare shouldn't be making breaks, and I don't know how she did her work the way she did it. Quite frankly, she has to be better now, and I don't think she'll be able to qualify Tuesday. I haven't talked to Tim about it, but we'll see, and hopefully we can get her back going good. Not only would the abscess certainly affect her, it had to affect her blood, right? Has to be. Anytime you have an abscess in your body, it affects your entire body in a very negative way. So interested to see how she reacts over the next couple of weeks. Irresistible Sun has just been amazing all summer long. What a nice horse he's turned in. He's a keeper for sure. I think he's going to be an open type trotter at Northfield Park as a 4-year-old and beyond. I think we got a very, very nice horse on our hands, and we're going to have a lot of fun with him. La Deraine, that's my fault. I tried to keep her safe the other day, and I ended up putting her in a stupid position, and she made a break, and that was on me. I apologize. I'll hope to correct that this week. Lonely Lakewood's in the sale Monday. Again, nice horse, just the numbers of 4 might be a little salty for him. So we opted to move. That's all. No big deal. He's sound. He looks good. If you're out there and you're looking for a nice horse and it looks like he'll fit in your jurisdiction, he is a nice horse. And if it looks like he'll fit, because he's been doing his work very well of late. Lover's Play, so happy to see. You guys know how I feel about this filly. I can tell you right now, for all my partners know, everybody knows, she's going to race till the winter time, and we're going to breed her as a 4-year-old. I've said it from the day we started breeding these mares. I wanted to breed the tough mares that I thought maybe even weren't the best, had decent breeding or good breeding, but wanted to be a better horse, had great attitudes and work ethics, and that's what we tried to do. And in this filly here, I don't know there's been very many tougher horses that I've seen in my life than this one. I can tell you that right now. To see her win the other day, I had a smile on my face when I cleared the lead, because I knew the only one that could beat me, I just went by. And she, that merciless way she is. It wasn't a fast mile. She didn't have to win by 6 or 7. She wanted to win by 10. And I love that about her. She just got the greatest attitude and as tough as you could ask a horse to be. Love and Affection was great the other day. If I could come to the outside, do I beat him? I don't know, but she raced great. What a nice filly. Nice pickup, I think, with her. Mel Gibbs Swan is getting very close now. I believe been around 210 and staying sound, staying good. The lag is good, so excited to hear about that from Stacy. Memory and Imagination, a rare break last week. He'll atone for that on Sunday. On Sunday, I believe. It's hard not to like Memory and Imagination. I think he also is going to be a very good horse for us down the road. Here's a horse that we could race probably at Yonkers. Anywhere. Race anywhere, this horse, for sure. Militant has been one of the biggest surprises. You talk about Time Is On My Side now. He's not quite to that level. Time Is On My Side went from is this horse okay to, he's in the top bracket of the 3-year-old division. It's amazing. But Militant, again, different ceiling. But similar story in the sense that he went from being present to fantastic all summer long. It looked like he couldn't do in the Goldenrod in Kentucky. It was okay, no big deal. Those are decent horses. But this should come right out with a crushing victory in his first start at back in Ohio, and then to finish second in 52 the other day. Just so impressed with this horse, and he's such a nice horse to drive now. When I raced this horse last year, when we trained him down, he was such a little mongrel. He would pull and lug and just be rude all the time. Hit a knee, touched his jacks, and that was, in hindsight, probably a reason for him being that way. And I'm glad that he matured out of it, because he is such a nice horse to drive now. It's really hard to explain. Just a treat to sit behind for sure. Mounts for All, I think, will be one of our sleepers in the 4-year-old division. This horse was racing well. Ronnie Wren had a lot of very, very flattering things to say about him, and that was the last start he raced uninjured. He'll come back now as a bigger, heavier, stronger, faster, hopefully 4-year-old, and I think he could be a really, really good horse for us. Pickpocket has just been a great horse at 2 for us. Won the Bluegrass, won the International Stallion, raced the Breeders' Crown Elimination, made a break, obviously. Come back okay at 3. Very similar to how he was at 2. But that happens. But he's been a decent horse too, and I think he'll finish off the year well for us. Prince Charmer's been a nice horse, just a meat and potatoes type of horse. He's racing tonight, and I expect the same type of effort from him that he's been putting in all year long. Purple People Eater, second the other day. She was just hot. She was just too hot. I need to work on her feet as we head into her next start, which is tomorrow. But she's 5-2, and I guarantee you she'll go out and put her effort in. She'll go out and put an honest effort in. Closing in on 6 figures in the good mark. We sold her sister for pretty good money 2 years ago, and I suspect the same thing will happen. Same thing will happen this year. Ready for landing. Little time off. I was disappointed with those 2 breaks his last 2. The exact same mirror image breaks from the exact same post in the exact same way. Just seemed to me like he was a little cranky. We're going to give him a little break, 2-3 weeks, bring him back, and I'm going to try and qualify this horse without hobbles on and see how he does. Remember, he raced his first 2 or 3 starts without hobbles on, and then we put them on to train back. But he just lately I got a feeling like he was just smarter. His last 2 starts I can't really explain. They were out of character for him of late. So we'll see how he comes back. Really don't care. I said to James, listen, if you put a good mark at 55 or 56 in her, she's worth a lot of money. This is the same family as the reason we bought her. The exact same family as When Doves Cry. So Chapter 7 filly in her own right, worth quite a bit of money. And I would like to see, we're not going to get to 6 figures with her for sure, but I would like to see a good mark. And James says, I think I can do that. She raced pretty good the other night, which I was excited to hear. I was happy to hear that from him. Sunset Acres Girl, finishing off her year, been real flat her last 2. Donnie said she was quite sick, and they were working on getting her cleaned up. Hopefully they can for her next race. Sweeney will likely race soon. Very soon, I think. Maybe next Friday at Scioto. Maybe we'll train him hard Monday or Tuesday and race him in Scioto. I don't know yet. I'll have to talk to Jason about that one. Tenacious Hanover, hoping to race him next Friday, but he was off for a little bit. I don't know how much work he's had into him, to be quite frank, and I don't know if we're going to be able to race him Friday. I hope we can. We'll see. Time is on my side. We'll definitely race Friday. Sire Stakes, he needs some points. Tenacious Hanover's in front of him. He's got to leapfrog Tenacious Hanover to get in the final. If he races in the consolation, fine, but I would much rather take a run at these guys right now when he's on the top of his game. Victory Blue Chip is in the sale Monday. I guess you guys figure out why. I mean, he's maximizing his classes too. I want to leave a little meat in the bone for people looking for a horse like him, but at the same time, I want to make sure that we get him sold at the right time. They didn't want him 5 starts ago. I guarantee you, if anybody was bidding on him, they wish they would have, because he's wheeled off 3 wins since then. He's a decent horse. Watch Your Mouth didn't get in this week at Grand River. We'll look to get, or Georgia, we'll look to get him in this week coming. Widespread Panic's on his way back to either Northfield or the Meadows. I'm not sure, either one. But he's on his way back. We just got to get this guy racing good again. He's coming off a break off a qualifier, so the Meadows makes the most sense as you can race off a break off a qualifier. I suspect if he gets a little bit better, you trot 56. I suppose he could go to Mohawk, but I'd like to get a little look at him first. Anyway, those are your 3-year-olds. All up to date on your 3-year-olds. I'll be back with your 2-year-olds in just a second.